Hello Year 12, Mrs Booth here, and I'd like to take you through the process of applying to university, outline the support available to you here in the sixth form, and very importantly to give you an overview of the timeframe and deadlines involved. So applications to university are made online through UCAS, and you'll be able to start work on your actual application now. You'll be able to apply for up to 5 choices, though there are a few restrictions. If you're applying for medicine, dentistry or veterinary courses, you're only able to select 4 of these options, but you will be able to include a 5th choice for a different course. For instance, many students applying to study medicine have a 5th choice of something like biomedical sciences as their insurance option. If you're interested in Oxford or Cambridge, you'll have to decide which one to go for, as you're only able to apply for one of these universities. There is a cost involved, and this needs to be paid by card once you've completed your application and just before you submit it to the school. Your choices are invisible to the universities you're applying to, so there's no need to put them in any particular order. Universities just don't see where else you're applying. You'll need to think about what's most important to you before deciding which universities to apply to. Unifrog is really useful to help your research here, as you can use the filter options to find different shortlists. But do remember that one of the most important things to consider is, do the standard entry requirements match your predicted grades? It's worth knowing that many universities offer contextual offers to students who meet certain criteria, often for students who would be the first generation of their family to attend university, or who have a particular postcode, or who meet other conditions. And again, you can use Unifrog to help find these. Students accepted onto these schemes receive a slightly lower offer. For example, instead of needing AAB, they may be offered a place if they achieve BBB. Really, the most important thing you should be thinking about is what course do you want to study. It's definitely worth taking time to research carefully, as courses with the same title can be very different. Again, think about what's most important to you personally, and consider what you will be learning, how you will be taught, and how you will be assessed, as well as what extra opportunities may be available within the course. Hopefully, you will already be researching using Unifrog and your UCAS Hub account. It's always advisable to go to the university websites direct to find the most up-to-date information though, and please make sure that you check the entry requirements for your courses carefully. Open days take place during the summer and at the beginning of the autumn term. Do make sure that you research your university website before attending an open day so that you make the most of the visit. We really can't emphasise enough that it's best to begin your preparations early. It's also important to have a realistic idea of the grades you expect to achieve at the end of year 13, though using your MEGS is often a good place to start. It's only when you know your general grade profile that you can begin to seriously consider which courses and universities are going to be the best fit for you. We do ask that you produce a first draft of your personal statement by the 11th of July, so it's a good idea to begin now by keeping a note of things to include. We will be emailing students some detailed advice about personal statements later this week. When you look at the actual UCAS application, it's important to understand that only some sections are completed by students themselves, and once you click Submit, your application isn't sent to UCAS, it's just marked as complete in the Advisor section, which is overseen by the sixth form team and your tutor. There's actually quite a lot of work for us to do once you submit your application, and this is why it's essential that you meet the school deadlines. Your reference is put together using information from your teachers and your tutor, and your predicted grades are provided by your subject teachers too. We do check your application before it's submitted to UCAS, but it is your responsibility to make sure that all the information you've entered is correct and that you're applying for courses which match your qualifications and predicted grades. You're only able to include one personal statement in your application, so it must work for each of your course choices. This is your chance to make your application really stand out. Please make a note of anything you do which could be included, anything extracurricular which shows that you're a well-rounded person who's going to make a fantastic contribution to the university, but even more importantly, anything that you do connected to your studies which goes beyond what you do in school, so any wider reading or research, any work experience or any online courses. If you're interested in doing online courses, then you can access the MOOCs, which are massive online open courses from around the world via Unifrog. When looking at entry requirements, please remember to check the fine detail, not just the headline grades or the UCAS tariff points which are quoted. Do make sure that you have the required GCSE grades and are taking the relevant qualifications as well. You'll see that some universities quote both grades and UCAS tariff points. These points are fairly straightforward really. Each grade is worth a certain number of points, and the points of all your final qualifications are added together to reach a total. The main thing to be wary of is that points are counted only once for each subject. For instance, if you achieve a grade B in A-level history, you will have 40 UCAS points for this subject, even if you have an AS level in history as well. The all-important deadlines. Please keep to the timescale of what you should be doing during Year 12 and make sure that you leave plenty of time to work on your personal statement with your tutor. It's also going to be important to attend any sessions you're invited to in school. When you're looking at the UCAS website, it's very easy to be distracted by the UCAS deadlines, which will be displayed everywhere, even though UCAS does advise that schools have earlier deadlines. Please remember that we need time to complete your application, and it's the school deadlines that are the important ones for you. Once your application's been submitted, universities will first look at predicted grades and qualifications already achieved, and then consider your personal statement, reference, and whether you meet any other specific requirements for the course. Some courses, such as medicine, dentistry, some law and maths courses, plus many courses at Oxford and Cambridge, require students to complete an admissions test, so do look out for this when doing your research. If you are applying for a course with an artistic or design-based element, then expect to have to produce a portfolio. Again, do your research early so that you know what you should be working on. If you're applying for health-related courses or other vocational courses, such as education or social work, then expect to be called for interview. You'll receive confirmation from UCAS as soon as your application's been submitted, and you'll be able to see the progress of your application in the track section of your UCAS account. You'll also respond to your UCAS offers here, and you can make any changes to your contact information if you need to. Once the universities have replied to you, you can choose two offers: a firm choice, which will be the course you'll automatically be placed on if you meet the requirements for the offer, and an insurance choice, which will be a course you'd be happy to attend if you didn't meet the requirements of your first choice. Although it's tempting to reply to offers straight away, there's no need to rush to do this, and sometimes it's useful to take a little time and weigh up all possibilities. Just make sure that you don't miss your deadline for applying though. For students without offers, UCAS Extra and Clearing are available, but we hope that students do their research and make careful choices so that they receive offers they're happy with nice and early in the process. So I'd just like to reassure you that applying to university can be stress-free, but the key to this is beginning the process early and taking advantage of all the support and guidance we have on offer. If in doubt, just ask, but make sure that you ask the right people, either your tutor or a member of the sixth form team. Someone will always be around to talk to in the Hills.